Hi, I'm April.
And I'm Bailey.
We are real-life friends and neighbors.
Together we run a business called Pt.1 Designs.
Our favorite part of our job is being in people's homes and hearing their stories. As we became inspired by these stories, we wanted to share them with others. That's where the Nestled podcast was born.
So join us each week as we are encouraged to pursue our own design decisions based on what we love instead of what fills our Instagram feed. Every home has a story, and we can't wait to hear yours. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey everybody.
You guys may have noticed that last week we did not have a podcast episode. We had some scheduling conflicts, and we're still new enough that we don't have a lot of episodes or interviews built up, so it just didn't happen last week. And honestly, we weren't sure anyone would notice, but a lot of you reached out to us.
Notice, so and we were really happy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It made us feel good that people are actually listening other than our moms.
Right.
We also decided that with Halloween, and that's kind of a big thing for our families, a fun time for us, and the stuff that we had going on, that we would just kind of take a break from social media for a week too. So we were kind of like radio silence last week. Isn't that what it's called?
Yep.
Radio silence. So that was us, but we're back.
Yeah, we're back. I think we each posted on our personal pages photos of our kids on Halloween, and that was it. That's all that we did. Nothing on the business page, nothing on our personal
We've
page.
got a lot of great stuff going on, though, with Posh Nest, and so we'll be jumping back on to share some things with you guys. We've got some good things going, and then we're, like, in Christmas mode.
Yep.
With the business, and,
we will be covered in glitter from now until Christmas.
We feel like Santa's elves, so we hope that you guys will enjoy your time back with us today. So thank you for joining us.
So this week we are jumping back into our thankful tidbits. And so what I'm thankful for this week is when we moved into this house, our daughter Aniston really wanted a mermaid room. And I'm not really one for a themed room, but I really wanted to try and give her a little bit of freedom and try and meet her in the middle. And so I decided that she could not have a mermaid comforter like she wanted. But I did find some really cute sheets from Olive Kids. I actually ordered them off of Amazon. And then on top of that, their comforter is a really cute pom-pom comforter that's Pillow Fort from Target. And both were super affordable, and the girls absolutely love them. And Aniston feels like she played her part in designing her bedroom, and it does not hurt my eyes when I walk in. And so I'm just thankful for their cute little bedding this week.
And for me this week, I am thankful for my yellow curtains. Some of you may have heard, or maybe it's on an episode that we haven't played yet, that we talked about how when we moved into this house that we're in right now, I went really neutral with everything. I just was like, take all the color away. And I still, in my closet in the hall, had some yellow Target curtains that I've had for years and years. And last week was like, bring out the yellow curtains and put them in the dining room. And so it made me feel like, I don't know, like it was a new room and very exciting. And everyone who came in my house, my kids came home and they were like, oh, the curtains.
I noticed the curtains. I did.
They're so pretty. So
I did. It did make a difference. Yeah. I noticed it when I came in.
So I'm really thankful, and I'm thankful that I can have color back in my life, and then I can take it away if I want to.
That's right. So we are really excited this week that we are kicking off our, not just a new series, but our first series for the podcast. We're going to call it Ladies of Main Street, and it's a precious mom and two daughters who all have little shops on Main Street in Lucedale, Mississippi.
Yeah, their little shops are side by side. They're neighboring shops, and this is a family that we've known for a long time. My husband and I worked on staff at a church with them, with the parents, and then these two daughters started these businesses as young women, and their stories are really inspiring in a lot of ways. And also, we've just been really inspired by their family and their ability to be hospitable and love people and invite people into their lives. And we think that you guys are going to be inspired by their stories too.
Yes. And there's actually the oldest daughter will not be in this series, and she was a sweet friend of mine from high school. And so we will definitely hear from her eventually, but her story is just a little bit different. She's not in Lucedale.
Yeah, she's in New Orleans, and hopefully we're going to hear from her on some other things later.
Yes.
And she actually sent in our question for this week that we're going to ask at the end of this.
She did.
This episode, so you'll get to hear a little of her, just not physically from her. So, yeah.
You may also notice in this episode that we were having some technical difficulties. Our signal wasn't the greatest, And so it does get a little bit better a few minutes in if you can hang in there. But at first, it is a little bit spotty.
It cuts in a little bit, in and out a little bit. But if you give it about 5 minutes, you'll hopefully you can hang in there that long because it's good stuff.
Yep.
But I hope you guys enjoy this. So here's Taylor and our interview with her from today, the youngest daughter, Taylor. Good morning, Taylor. How are you?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
Good. We're so glad to talk to you today.
Okay, so Taylor, to start us out, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm 23. I grew up in Wilmer, but I live in Lucedale, Mississippi now. My dad's a church plant pastor, and I also have a bakery called Taylor Made. My mom and sister also have businesses right beside me, and I'm a newlywed.
Yay!
And so I have a lot going on, but it's a wonderful life, and we love Lucedale.
Yeah, it's so fun that you guys are like right there on the same street beside each other. And Main Street Lucedale, for those of you who do not know and aren't familiar with it, is like something out of a movie. It's so cute. And the people there are so like for hometown and for businesses locally and that kind of thing. It's just a really, really neat place.
It is. It's growing. There's a lot that's going on, but it's a perfect picture of Southern charm. It really is.
Yeah. So tell us, when did you start your business?
I opened in 2013, so I was 19 years old. I was not planning on opening that early, but it literally fell into my lap, and I knew that college was not for me, and that was a big deal for me to just quit college. But I did. I was 19. I went to school for 1 year, and it just so happened that the place I got my hair done, of all places, there was a bread bakery beside it, and they were closing. And so they sold us their equipment as like a lot price, and we went in and renovated, and within like a month or two I was open in November. So actually November the 2nd will be 4 years that I've been open.
Wow, 4 years.
Anniversary. How fun.
Yes.
So when you were setting up the bakery, how did you design it to feel so warm and inviting? Because I do think it's a space where a lot of people just feel very comfortable.
Well, our design here, I know how to envision what I love and my style choice for the bakery. But when I was 19 and I didn't know how to kind of put it together. So thankfully that was a lot of my mother. I knew what I wanted. She helped me kind of get it to where I wanted it to be, but it's very, very shabby chic, as you would say. When I opened, the look of distressed furniture really wasn't in like it is now. But the store's filled with that. It's filled with warm colors. Everything that you would picture in like a Southern bakery. And so from that to the music that we play, to the personality that not personality because it's us, but the love that we show, all of that kind of ties into people loving to come here. And so, that's one thing is kindness. I'm like, if you work for me, you better come out that door with a warm smile, and you better love these people. Because I have made so many connections just since I opened. And so people love to come here, not just because of this place, but because of the love that they feel.
Right. And I think that it is a personality. Like, I think that buildings start to take on a personality based off of the people and the values of the people who are there. And so I've been there, and it is a warm environment, and it is just a sweet place. You don't feel like you're a bother. I know there are certain businesses you come in and you're like, well, sorry to make you have to work today, but
I feel like you need to rush out.
Right. Or that my kids are going to touch something and get icing on it or anything like that. Like, it's just a comfortable spot to hang out. And so I think that it does become the personality of your business, and that's a good thing, because that's what brings people back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you also have some really great stuff. So.
Yes. Let's hope I do. I think I do.
Zane tells you do anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of Zane, I know you said you're a newlywed. Where are you guys living?
Okay, so we found a building on Main Street. When I first opened in 2013, I was in another location, but Main Street was my dream location. And it took me about 2 years to get to this spot, but we had a good family friend. It was actually, she's a good family friend now, but she actually taught Zane in kindergarten.
Oh.
And so she kind of knew of who I was. She has a daughter or two daughters around my age, and she actually contacted me which was an answered prayer because we were thinking we can go and look at these buildings, but we don't know price-wise. Well, we found this place after she had contacted us. It had been a gas building for 30 years. Nothing had been in here. And so it's a very neat, it's a narrow building, but it's very deep. And so we were able to pretty much use the shell of it and create a front showroom and my kitchen. And then in the back is an apartment space. So it's 600 square feet roughly. It's not a studio style. It is, we were able to put up walls. So there is a designated bedroom and bathroom and all that stuff. But it is tiny. But it's just enough space for us.
So how do you, what's the style of the apartment?
You know, I looked into that, and there are a couple of different things that I've found that I love, and a lot of it has a lot of farmhouse influence. It's a tiny home. We love. I love a lot of wood. I love wooden accent. I've also found that I love marble as well, so wood and marble together. But a lot of it is farmhouse.
Yeah.
I can't steer myself away from it.
I know. We all like want to not be in that box, I think, but they're especially in the South. It's like, but
yes,
I am
but
a
we're
little
drawn
bit
to it.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so with you working in the front, what have you done to kind of set boundaries between work and home?
Well, I have loved it because Zane works night shift, and so when I'm up here, typically he's either off or he's back there asleep. And so it's been perfect for when I just want to go back there and see him.
Right.
Or, you know, if it's slow, I can actually hear when someone comes in with our little alarm if I were to be standing back there. So it has been really convenient. But for me to just kind of mentally take a break, I have had to set some boundaries. And whether I'm off and one of my girls is up there, it's one of those where if I'm not in store and I'm at home, I am at home. You know, you have to imagine it to where I'm not still there. So it has been, it's been easier than I imagined it would be. A lot of people questioned if I would get tired and not want to live there so close to work, because there are a lot of days where it's hard and I'm exhausted. But so far, so good. I'm loving it.
Well, and I know, too, in that business, there's a lot of late nights. So I feel like that would be easier, you know.
It is. It's perfect. Well, before we were married and I still lived with my parents, they did always worry about me driving because there would be nights where I was coming in at 1, 2, or 3 in the morning, so I would be having to drive. So it is. It's really convenient, and now my husband's right there.
Right. Well, and it's like, come help me
at
3 o'clock in the morning.
My dishes,
Okay, we're gonna talk to your mom in a few days, maybe in a week or so.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember most about your childhood home?
Our home was perfect. We were brought home to that home, and so we have so many memories of. I could cry just thinking about it, so I'm gonna try to veer away from it. I knew I would. And when she listens to this, she's gonna cry too. And so will Bailey.
Yeah, I know. I'm like crying too, just because that's what I do.
It was growing up there was just it was perfect. Mom did a really good job of keeping just such a hospitable spirit, and the house was, I say warm, but y'all know what I mean. It was warm, inviting. We had been in the ministry for years, and then they did youth ministry for years, and so our house was always open to whoever, which is something that I want ours to be, because my small group at Journey has said, we're having small group there, and that it's like, if you want, you can bring a beanbag or you can sit on the floor because there's not room. But that's one thing that I want, that I really learned from my parents, is to keep your home open. That's what your home's for.
Right.
To share with people. And so that's my biggest thing, is that I remember, I'm sorry I'm getting so upset.
No, you're good.
It's in a good way. It's such good memories. She'll probably tell y'all a little bit more about that. Now they're in a little tiny home, but it's just as warm and welcoming as our other.
Yeah, when we first we met Taylor through her parents, my husband worked at the same church as her dad and mom, and I actually worked for her dad for a little while. But when we first started working at that church, we lived way across town, like 45 minutes away. And those first few months, I mean, I think we ate as many meals sitting around their bar in their kitchen as we did at our own home. And like, that's one of the things that I never felt like I was imposing. It was always an open door. And her mom is one of those people that you're like, I could never be as good at that as her. Like, I could never, she would always be like, April, you need to be writing these things down because you're going to forget. And she's like so good. She's such a great mom. But she
is super mom.
She really is. I don't know how she does it. I was always like, Nan, I'm drowning. I'm not writing anything down. I would tell her something the kids would say, and she'd be like, did you write that down?
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to feed them. That's what I'm trying to do. And she's like, well, I have all these books that I've written everything they ever said. And
yeah. I have a lot to learn from her because she raised three great girls, and I have 3 girls, and that's intimidating. If they turned out as great as y'all, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about that you want some of those same things for your home, but as you begin your new role as a wife, what do you want your home to be like?
I want the same thing. One thing that Zane and I have decided early on is that we want to keep a small home, not necessarily 600 square feet, but small. When we do decide to have kids one day, we want something small. That's one thing. I've said it a few times, and I'll probably say it forever. With the more space you have, the more stuff you accumulate, and that's most of the time stuff you don't need. And so we want to keep something small and cozy and welcoming. That's one thing I always want to keep that I learned from my parents. Hospitable, open door, always room for somebody else. I've learned that I love to cook. I never had to cook at home because my mom always did, or, we're so busy here, we just kind of eat convenient. But I love to cook for my husband, and so I know that I love to cook for people and host people when the time comes.
Well, and to encourage you in that, I think that you have the same spirit that your mom has, and I think that you're fabulous at making people feel welcome and loved, and so I know that your home will have that same feel.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now y'all just need to come visit it.
I know.
Yeah, we will.
We're going to. We're going to come and do an Insta story about Main Street.
In the next few weeks.
Yeah, in the next few weeks, so we can show all the people.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Do you think, is decorating or design something that comes natural to you? And if not, then what gave you the courage to start?
It really is not. It's not. My mom and sister have always been good at envisioning just a whole setup. So when I was saying, when I first opened, it was not easy for me to kind of place a room out and say, I want this here, or I want this here. But the tiny home has been a perfect project for me to get started. Now, I did have the help of my sister and my mother, not lie about that. But it has given me the courage to kind of find my own style.
Right.
And so to kind of place things where I want them. And my style is different, a little different from my sisters and mom's. So it's been fun to find my own.
Right.
And to kind of create my own space. I went and spent a good amount of money at Target the other night. Zane had gone into work, and we had some empty shelves in our bathrooms, and he came in from work the next morning. I said, go in the bathroom and look. I was proud, but it's just been really fun. It's been fun for me and for him to watch me decorate and place things and just make our home a home.
Yeah.
It's funny how that changes, huh? How you go from wanting like clothes and makeup to suddenly like, I need all the things from the home decor aisle.
You're like, I want to sell all of my clothes so that I can buy things to hang on my walls.
Or a rug.
Or a pillow.
Yeah.
That's me with the throw pillow.
Yeah. Man, throw pillows are the best if only they were a little less expensive.
Yeah. So who or what inspires you? Inspires your design decisions, but also just inspires you in life and business and all of those things?
A lot of it's my mom, I would say. Design-wise, I feel like this is so cliche, but I love me some Joanna Gaines. My sister, Bailey, has such a natural knack for design.
So she and herself is a big inspiration because I can say, hey, come over, I need some help. But home-wise would definitely be mother in terms of a home, a home being not a house, but a home.
Right.
Design-wise, it's just kind of here and there. A lot of my sister, though, I would say. She'll be happy to hear that. She is great. She is great. I'll need to go see her home.
Yeah, we're gonna interview her and get to hear all about her.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll get to hear from all the Jemison gals. I know you're a Cooley, but you're still a Jemison.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Do you, well, this is probably a loaded question because I know y'all have just kind of finished up and are moving in, but do you have any current projects?
When I saw that, I was like, that's the tiny home is my project.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. It's about, I would say, like 75% done.
Mm-hmm.
But with it being new, there are still a lot of things that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the outside is a huge part of that. Right now, with it being the back end of the building, it's just kind of like nobody sees it, forget about it. But now that it's our home, we want it to be adorable.
Right.
And so that's probably the inside a little bit, but the outside a lot. We want to paint, and I want flower boxes and a raised herb garden. I want all kinds of stuff. It's horrible.
Because I guess it's the back of the building, but it's your front door.
Yes.
Technically. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will, for anybody listening, I'm sure you'll do some Insta stories of that as you go. Because you did some great updates as y'all updated the apartment.
I never realized I enjoyed that until people actually told me, we love keeping up with this. And so I told Zane one day, I said, what am I going to do when the inside's finished?
I got nothing else.
We'll do it on the outside.
Yeah.
It also gives you a little bit of incentive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so much fun.
Well, and when people are asking about it, it's like I have to finish so I can show them.
I know. I know. My cousin the other day, she said, I've been watching them like you're a celebrity. I wanted to know if your washer and dryer were working fine.
Yeah.
We've had some classic newlywed props, but I wasn't
funny. That's funny. So what's one thing, because you have a lot of new stuff since you just got married and you're just getting this new home set, but what's one thing, if you had to just pick, that you're loving in your home right now?
I think that my favorite part is our kitchen. Our kitchen is my favorite. Just getting to choose. My dad built our cabinets from the ground up, so those are special in themselves. But it was Zane's idea to not do overhead cabinets, and he wanted to do the open wooden shelves. And so that, and I wasn't against it at all, but we actually found them from Kirkland's and hung them, and they have been the cutest part of our little tiny home so far, because you can decorate them. I do have to keep them neat, but so far that hasn't been an issue, because they're too cute to mess up.
Right.
We have open shelving in our tiny kitchen too, but yours are cuter than ours. I saw yours, I was like, ours came with the house, but yours are cuter.
Lance built us some. I'll have to show you a picture of them later. Right now, they're not looking real cute.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, where is somewhere that you love to shop?
Oh, gosh. Target, all around, all across the board. I love Target for so many reasons, but they have, especially now that they're coming out with Joanna Gaines stuff.
Yeah.
But I love, we wanted to be very simple in where we registered. And so we did pretty much a couple of local shops and then Target. So we registered for all of our practical items, our everyday dishes and cups and all that stuff, all the way through decor from Target. So I just love it because everything is practical, everything is adorable, but with such a wide range of things that you can get. I love it. It's a one-stop shop.
Yes. You guys shop at the Westmobile Target, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the closest one. Well, we only have the mall Target in
We miss Westmobile.
We miss Westmobile, except
Target.
The Target. That's all we miss.
Yeah.
But have you noticed how everything is different? It doesn't feel like home when I go in there.
No, it is different. They have a whole, like a home set up now.
Yeah,
rearranged.
I mean, I get it. But whenever you only get to go every so often and you go and you feel like you're in a stranger's house, it is not cool. It's like,
I know.
It's like going home and your mom turned your bedroom into an office.
Right? We're a full month into it, but we're still talking
still
about
not
it because we're not over it.
They changed the game. It shocked me too. It did.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say I don't love it because I do.
Right. Right.
I just thought I would ask because I know you're like the weekly trip to Target or whatever because y'all aren't close either.
I am. But I am looking forward to y'all coming out here and just seeing everything. There's so much to see, and everything is so interesting here.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I think y'all will love it. I think
I'm
your
excited.
listeners will love it.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
They will.
We'll make sure that everybody knows in plenty of advance.
Yeah, we'll tell them in advance that to be watching for it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us where our listeners can find you on the internet.
Okay, so when I first opened, which I was 19, it's perfect, like prime social media age, and I had a lot of people approach me about a website, but I, in the beginning, and probably still cannot afford a website. not when social media is free and it does just the same thing. So we are on business-wise, we're on Facebook and Instagram, just Taylor Made Bakery. And yeah, you can find us there. We post there very often. But yeah, no website. They kind of play as our website, and they're free advertisement for us.
Yeah.
And where can people find you to see your updates on your apartment? If they're interested in that?
So pretty much, Facebook and Instagram as well, and it's just Taylor Cooley. Yeah, on both. Still sounds weird to say that.
Yeah. It's exciting though. You waited a long time to have that last name.
Sure did.
Taylor, thank you so much for talking to us today and sharing with us a little bit about your bakery and about your home. And we can't wait to show people pictures and take them on a tour soon.
Yes, can't wait. I haven't seen it, so I'm really excited to get out there too.
Yes.
Yes, y'all come visit. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right.
All right.
There were several things that we really enjoyed about our conversation with Taylor.
But one thing I did not enjoy, and I found this, and April's laughing because she knows what I'm going to say. Every single week, whenever I go back and listen to our interviews, I say some really silly things.
We usually can edit things out, and we do a lot of things that, honestly, you don't want to hear.
Right.
And we would be embarrassed.
Yeah, but I say these phrases that I don't say in real life, and I think that I'm just like thinking faster than my mouth is moving, or maybe it's the reverse. My mouth is moving faster than I'm thinking. But for example, in this episode, I say I was going to give you guys
plenty of advance,
and that's not a thing.
That's not a thing, but we will give you plenty of advance notice.
Yes,
whenever we're gonna tour downtown Main Street,
and
Lucedale,
it will be adorable,
and it's gonna be precious.
Anyway, I just want you guys to know when you hear me say those things, I also
we're aware.
am aware of those, and they are cringeworthy.
Yeah, okay. But there are some things that we did enjoy.
Yes, one thing that I loved is how Taylor talked about how if you're gonna work for her, you have to be kind. And I just think that's so important. I know April and I, when we started this business, relationships are kind of one of our top priorities.
Yeah, it is. Whenever we go into someone's home, there are a lot of times that we spend more time than probably is efficient,
right,
or effective, just chatting with people and getting to know them. And that's where this podcast even came from, is because we think that it is as important for us to get to know people and for them to trust us than it is for us to do good work for them. I mean, it's like on the same level.
Yeah, and it's an honor for someone to invite you into their home or to give you their business when there's other people out there. So, but I think even if you don't own a business, just as you go out into the world, just remembering to be kind, and you don't know what other people have going on in their lives.
You never know what someone has in front of them that day or what they've experienced, and kindness goes a long way.
Absolutely.
And something else that I really loved was Taylor talking about her knowing that college wasn't for her and just kind of jumping out and starting a business as a young 19-year-old and doing something that she loves. And we have the privilege, it really is a privilege for us to be able to do something that we love. And it was kind of a similar situation that we just jumped out on faith and said, let's try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It fails and we go do something else.
We go back to our 9-to-5 job, which is something that I had.
Right. Yeah. And so we just, one of the things that we want to encourage people to do is to find something that you love and do that for yourself.
Yes.
That doesn't have to be starting a business. That doesn't
have
mean,
to be a career move.
right. It doesn't have to have anything to do with your career, but there's just something about doing something that you love that's good for yourself and and for self-care and making sure that you are looking out for your heart and your emotions and all of the things, and that you're not just miserable,
Right. Yeah, you can love other people well when you love yourself well first.
Yes.
So I think that's very, very important. And
I
I'm
agree.
glad that she brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay, so to close things out, we're going to answer our listener question this week. And like we mentioned earlier, this one is coming from Jordan, which is Taylor's older sister. And her question was, what does hospitality look like in a season of transition? In a rental you hate, when you're pinched for cash, but you're still wanting to be faithful?
Yeah, and so we've kind of pondered this a little bit, but I feel like this is the season that I'm in currently. We are in a rental that honestly we don't love. There are a lot of things about it that we don't love. We have 5 kids and they're all in one bedroom right now, and there are many things about the rental that we don't think is great. But I think that there is something about just being content with whatever you've been given, and there is this thing that happens in your own heart whenever you choose to be content. And that's part of the reason that we do the thankful things that we do every week, of just making a point to say, no, let's stop and look around and see the things that we're blessed with. And so I think that there's a push towards contentment, but also hospitality can look a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to look like a fancy dinner party. We love that, and we've been a part of that. But there are seasons in life where that's just not really feasible. It's not something that we can afford, or maybe it's just not something that with your schedule that you can do.
Right.
But
I know too, I think probably 90% of the time whenever I invite someone over for dinner, they always say, what can I bring?
Right.
And the tendency that I think most of us have is, oh, don't worry about it, I've got it.
Right.
If you're in a season where you're pinched for cash and you can only do so much, tell somebody what they can bring.
Right.
I never offer that to someone if I'm not in a place where I can bring something.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone thinks any less of you.
Right. Well, and anyone who's coming to your house to have a meal was going to have to eat a meal regardless.
Right.
And maybe they would have spent $5, but they can spend $5 and bring something to your meal. And and I think that it's just this idea of opening yourself up and being vulnerable with people. And one of the things that I think we've come to a place, and it's just a really sweet place in life, where you actually can have people that you let in. You don't have to put up a facade, and so you can say, hey, I need you to bring this. And, and so the biggest thing I would say about hospitality is that you're available, that you create a comfortable environment, that you're kind, and that you have people, that you do have people in your home. And it can look different. I mean, I may serve you chicken and rice.
Right. Depending on the week.
Right. But if I can serve you steak, I will. But, you know, it could look a little different depending on where we are. But I don't think that it makes you any less hospitable.
No, absolutely not.
I think that it's way more a motive of your heart and the way that you treat people than it is the actual acts of themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, guys. So, like always, you can find us online on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Posh Nest Designs. We love talking to you guys over there and just getting your feedback, whether through Instagram stories or comments or whatever. We
love interacting, and you guys are the best.
Absolutely. Also, if you're local and you are still in need of Christmas decorations, we do still have some spots left for that. For more information on that, you can email us. We are at christmas@poshnestdesigns.com.
As always, if you would leave us a review on iTunes, it helps people find us, and it really is so great of you, and we are going to just keep on asking
until we get enough.
But we appreciate you guys, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.